And he is literally, no joke, going, woo, woo, woo. Washington, let me ask. Washington proved me wrong. I have no problem whatsoever sitting up here, and you guys know this, telling you, hey, I was wrong about this or that. I do it all the time. So that happened. What about that? You know that one meme? I guess it's at the beginning of this video. It was about, who was it? Oh yeah, Shaquille O'Neal, where he said, I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game. Isn't that what he says? Hold on, let me pull it up. It's all over Twitter. Yeah, he says, I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game. And it's referring to pretty much when he doubted Christian. Anyways, long story short, it's a meme of a guy saying, hey man, I'm sorry for doubting you. Wasn't familiar with your game. That's how I feel currently with this Washington Huskies football team. And before we go any farther, before I forget to do this, I do forget to do it sometimes. Clap it up. Washington, you look great. I thought Washington looked great tonight. I thought the first, y'all know how I feel about them. I thought the first one over Oregon, it was a fluke. I thought Oregon outplayed them, but Washington won the game. This time, no. I thought Washington, it wasn't just like barely outplayed Oregon. No. I thought they highly outplayed Oregon. When the game ended a couple minutes ago, my immediate thought was, yep, the better team won, and Washington is legit. I'm coming out and saying it, okay? I get it. I saw a graphic at the end of the game. It's something like Washington's won 8 one-score games this year, something like that. You can call them a lucky team. I've even said they're somewhat lucky this year, but there's one thing I like about this team. They know how to win games, and they always, no matter if it's a 3-point game, 7-point game, whatever it is, a one-score game, they always make the big-time plays. Always, and I can't emphasize this enough, I love how aggressive their head coach is, especially late in the game. Third down, if Oregon stops them, Bo Nix gets the ball back, and hey, the way Bo Nix and Oregon was reeling in the second half, they probably could have scored or at least got a field goal. Guess what? Third down, Washington, they passed for it. A lot of head coaches there, they would have ran the ball and punted and relied on their defense. That's just how Washington's played this year. I love them so much because they played a win. Or I haven't loved them so much. I meant to say I love their head coach so much because he coaches to win. He doesn't coach like that fraud for Ohio State, or my bad, Ohio Little Bro State, because Ryan Day coaches not to lose. No. Washington's head coach, he coaches to win. I bet a lot of you didn't watch their game last week against Washington State. I did. It was 21-21, 4th and 1. They had the ball in their own territory, and they went for it. They had it on like their own 35. If they don't get that, Washington State, they can kick a game-winning field goal. I wanted to emphasize that because all year long, not just in this game, Washington's head coach, he's been super aggressive, and that's how you should play. And oh yeah, while I'm thinking about this, I got to bring this up, and I'm going to write down some stuff on the whiteboard in just a second. But how does Robert Griffin III have a job? He tweeted this out. You know, and I'll just pop it up on the screen. If we are being real, both Washington and Oregon should be in the playoff. I thought that was a joke. I thought somebody was trolling me. I had a couple of people tag me in that. It's just laughable. Some people, they shouldn't even be talking about college football, okay? What are you talking about, buddy? Both Oregon and Washington should be in the playoff. That's the definition of delusional. Oregon lost twice to Washington. No, they should not be in the playoff. It'd make more sense if they split, right? They didn't split. Oregon got beat twice. Gosh, that just pisses me off. When people say delusional stuff like that, and you know he means it. And that's not the only thing that Robert Griffin III has said that's delusional. He has about 10 takes a day. Let me bring out the almighty whiteboard because there's one stat I want to write down. I don't even know exactly what it is, but I know it's the one I want to write. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I really don't think there's a point to show you Bo Nix's stats or Michael Penix Jr. stats because they played pretty good. That was not, in my humble opinion, the X factor or the biggest differential in this game. Both of them messed up one time back to back, and outside of that, they played good games. Simple as that. But here's what I'm going to write down. Oh, yeah, by the way, check this out. Washington outgained Oregon 481 total yards to 363. What about that? But here's what I want to write down, because this dude was a beast. There it is, folks. Dylan Johnson. Remember the name. I've seen a few. But in a big-time game like this, and it wasn't just this game, it's been all year long, but of course, it's going to get highlighted in this game. The power and intensity he runs with. There was multiple plays where he got hit at the line of scrimmage, and he is literally, no joke, going, woo, woo, woo. Looking like White Randy in 7th grade PE class out there. That dude, I mean, there's very few people when I'm watching the game I look at and I'm going, man, I'd be scared to take that dude one-on-one in Oklahoma drill. But this dude right here, I don't know. I might have to just, like, if I was in the Oklahoma drill with him, I might have to act like I was going to tackle. You know how you act like you get juked out? I'm going to have to act like I got juked out. He's going to go this way. I'm going to fall for the juke or just trip or do something. I just love the power and aggression, man. It just reminds me of that 2008 to 2013 college football. Nowadays, and there's nothing wrong with football nowadays. It's awesome, man. I love college football. It just gets better and better and better. But you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, it seems like we're leaning towards more of the smaller running backs that can catch out of the backfield. And he can do that. But, man, in between the tackles, and not only in between the tackles, but when this dude's cutting it up, it almost looks like he's looking for a defender so he can just, give him that nice little arm bar. I love it, man. I'm sorry I ranted on that for 2 or 3 minutes here. I just wanted to emphasize how much I love his game. But let me show you his numbers. He had 28 carries, and that is very important. I know what you're sitting there saying. Matt, why is that important? It's a good question. I have a good answer. Dylan Johnson is somewhat still hurt. I've heard he's only at about 75%, and he had 28 carries. Good gosh almighty. And on those 28 carries, he had 152 yards. And here's the kicker with that. Oops, there we go. Circle it. Sorry, I'm in your way. My bad, guys. Draw arrows to it. Do whatever you want. What's impressive about that is his longest rush on the night, guys, was 18 yards. These were full-out ground and pound. Like I was telling you, he'd gain an extra 3 or 4 yards per play because he'd be lowering his shoulder, just running over guys. I can't tell you enough. To me, I know Michael Penix Jr. is going to get all the love, rightfully so. He's the quarterback. But this guy was the X factor. Those extra yards he got, I could sit here all day and talk about how much I love the way he played in this game and how he's played all year long. Very underrated running back, very underrated piece of this Washington team. Now, that's it for the whiteboard. I just wanted to show some love to my man, Dylan Johnson. He played a heck of a ball game. To me, he was my most valuable player, but as we all know, quarterback more times than not is going to get the MVP in this game. It is what it is. Now, as far as it goes for Bo Nix, well, he played good. Yeah, he had the 1 interception, but outside of that, he was fine. The storyline of this game, to me, has nothing to do with Oregon. It's more so of Washington. Number one, they proved me wrong. I'll sit up here and say it right now. Washington, let me be honest. Washington proved me wrong. I have no problem whatsoever sitting up here, and you guys know this, telling you, hey, I was wrong about this or that. I do it all the time. I will eat the crow. I'll eat my own words, whatever you want to call it. When I'm wrong, I'll tell you guys, hey, I was wrong, and I was wrong about Washington. I'll tell you what, though, and I don't want y'all to say, oh, you're jumping on the bandwagon. It's more so me just acknowledging what I've seen and trying to give credit where it's due. I'm really high on this team now, and I'll just leave it at that. I'm high on them, and they've shocked me. They really have, and that's all there is to it. I know some people are still going to have their questions about this team, and one thing I was trying to decipher in this game was I can't tell if Washington is really great or if Oregon just isn't that good. I just couldn't decipher that. Because when you think about it, and it was my whole gripe with having Oregon at number 5, how was Oregon ranked ahead of Ohio State, Texas, and even Alabama when they have no quality wins? The best thing on their resume before this game was a loss to Washington. Think about that. That was the best thing. That's all you could say. They didn't have a top 25 win. So in the grand scheme of things, and I'm not trying to take away from your win, Washington fans, but I was also questioning just how good is Oregon really? Are they a great team? I don't know. And the reason I was having that conversation with myself when I was watching this game is because I was trying to ask myself this question. Hey, could Washington beat Michigan tomorrow? Would I rank Washington ahead of Michigan? No, I wouldn't right now, but I was trying to ask myself, am I closer to getting to that conclusion or theory? And it just went back to the $1 million question, man. I just don't know how good Oregon is. However, that doesn't really matter because no matter how you look at it, Washington's getting into the playoff, and I don't just think they deserve to be in the playoff. I think they've earned a spot, and they should get in. A lot of people have been talking the past couple of days, oh, well, yes, Florida State probably deserves to get in, but isn't Texas and Alabama the better team? And there's this whole, you know what it is. We already talked about it. The conversation of best or deserving. Well, guess what? Washington, there's none of that. They're getting in, and I don't think anybody's going to argue against that. There's many more things I could say, but I'm going to leave it at that. Washington, they shocked me. They look great. Oregon, well, your year's over. You lost to Washington twice. I don't know what to tell you. I'm curious, though. Let me know your thoughts down below.